Welcome to the channel. Today we will be bringing you a full review on the new Channel Islands Better Every Day. I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, you can click down here and subscribe. Give us a like, comment any questions you may have on this board. Comments, would love to hear from any of you out there that have ridden one and love to hear your feedback. We are coming at you on location at Eastern Lines Surf Shop. Eastern Lines, big reason that we're on these Channel Islands boards. Can't thank Eastern Lines Surf Shop, Don and Darby enough. Also, huge thank you to Dean Schoonover. I'm your host, James Margettis. I'm 5'11", I'm about 180 pounds, and I surfed this stock 5'10", Better Every Day. It comes in at 5'10", 19 3/4, 2.5, and 30.8 liters. The Better Every Day, it's an awesome everyday option. I love this board right from the start. It gets its roots from the Happy Every Day, hence the Better Every Day, and that's where the start was. But this board actually is quite a bit different from the Happy Every Day. It has a slightly narrower nose, so they took some of the width out of the nose on it. They've removed the hip out of the tail. There still is a little hip, but it's not as pronounced as it was on the Happy Every Day, and by doing that, it adds a little bit of width into the tail. They come stock with a swallowtail and a 5-fin option. They are designed to ride as a quad fin was the idea. And that's where a lot of the R&D and testing was done, as quad fins with a swallowtail. And if you're a returning viewer to the channel, you know that I'm a huge advocate of swallowtails and quads. And I've been custom ordering a lot of my boards with swallowtails and 5 fins to have that versatility. It kind of starts with a gradual single concave and then goes really deep from like here on back. It gets deeper, the concave, and it goes into a gradual double. And there is no V out the tail. I know in a lot of small wave performance boards or everyday options, they put V out the tail. This does not have that. The concave continues throughout the tail. It's super fast, super lively, and it really works well with both the quad and thruster option. I did love my Happy Every Day, and I'll put a link to the Happy Every Day review in the description. But this board, I feel, actually fixed all of the things that I disliked about the Happy Every Day. With having the swallowtail, it gives it a little bit more bite. So if you watch that review, one of my complaints with the Happy Every Day was that the tail was a little wide and it really sat above the water. So if you were surfing any waves with any serious push, you kind of had to nurse it a little bit. But with this Better Every Day, with the updates, you can really push it into the upper level of the waves. I would say anything from thigh high to overhead, this board is a go-to. I mainly rode this as a quad, but for review's sake, I did ride it as a thruster. The quad fin set that I used is the new Channel Islands FCSII set that they came out with. It's the CI upright fins, and the quad rears are the same as the old classic Almeric quad fins. They're a more raked quad rear. But yeah, I think with having the upright fronts and the raked rears, it gives you the pivot up front to really go vertical in the pocket, but also gives you the projection out of the rear so you can still project down the line. The quad option, super fast, loose when it has to, but still has plenty of hold when the waves get hollow. I did ride this in like a chest high to head high day, but there was a lot of water moving around and it was pretty thick. And I got a really, really good barrel, and this board, it just was able to get in, get down the line, and project out of the tube. The thruster set that I used was just the Channel Islands large, raked, original OG Channel Islands template. And it was like waist to chest high, really rippable, kind of point beach break-like conditions. And really able to fit a lot of maneuvers in the wave. I think this board complements these fins as well, because I was still able to get vertical. Sometimes when you get on a more performance shape with a raked fin, it kind of projects you out and doesn't let you go as tight on your turns, but this still was able to turn tight with the raked fin and still had all of the added benefits of having a raked fin with the down the line projection. So we'll dive into the good aspects of the board. The good things are the versatility. I mean, having the swallowtail, having 5 fin boxes really allows you to have the best of all worlds. I rode it in some smaller rippable surf. I rode it in some little bit bigger, more powerful surf, and just all around amazing. This quickly became one of my favorite boards. And I always say that jumping on these boards, like even with the Happy Everyday and the Better Everyday, I've been reviewing a lot of boards and going back and forth between all different kinds of shapes and whatnot, but I can get on these boards and it feels familiar. I don't have to adjust. It just lets me surf how I want to surf, which that's kind of what everyone's looking for, you know, is to get on something and click right away. And I really did click with this board right away. Some of the other good things, it paddles well. It really does carry some width through the nose, and some of that thickness comes still up to it, so it paddles well. I wouldn't say it paddles any better or worse than my Happy Everyday. I would say it's same paddleability as a Happy Everyday. It turns really well. When I rode it as a thruster, I rode it with the AM2 large raked fins, and I was still able to go vertical with my turns, and even on smaller waves, still able to turn it really quick and get up vertical. Some of the other good things, it does have that Happy Everyday rocker outline, very similar rocker to the Happy Everyday, which I really like that. For being what it is, like an everyday shortboard slash step down, it does carry a lot of rocker through the nose and some tail flip, which really good in steep sections, but somehow it still allows you to surf it well in small waves. All around conditions, great option. For the bad things, I really don't have anything bad that I could think of to say about this board. There's nothing that I wish it was different. The only thing I will say is I've been starting to go narrower on my boards. So in the stock form, great. It's the same dimensions as the Happy Everyday that I rode, same 19 3/4 wide. I did custom order one of these 19.5 wide just to take some of that width out of it, and I ordered it a hair thicker to keep the volume. So that's one option that you can do, is to keep the volume but take the width out. Always add thickness to the board. But other than that, nothing that I can say bad about this board. I really thoroughly enjoyed riding it. I rode it as a quad, rode it as a thruster, really put it through the paces in all different conditions, and this might be one of the best everyday options that I've come across so far doing these reviews. So to conclude, I think that this board is one of the best everyday options that I've ridden. Best step down shortboard. You can surf it performance wise, and I think that the range of conditions, they really opened up the range of conditions by adding the swallowtail and the 5-fin option. I put the bread and butter range of this board right in that thigh high to overhead range. I think that you can ride in bigger surf, conditions pending, maybe dimensions pending as well. As long as you can paddle in, the board will hold. Skill wise, I put this intermediate to expert surfers will get the most out of it. Beginner surfers, I don't think would get the most out of using a board like this, but I think everyone else, this is a great go-to option. New for this model as well, they updated the Channel Islands hex logo. So it's got the team hex with kind of the white fade in the middle. With fin option, I don't recommend one or the other. I really like quads, and I loved the quad option in this, and I'm gonna keep riding it as a quad and just leave it at that. But I did ride it as a thruster, and it still went amazing as a thruster. So if you die-hard guys out there that just want to stay on tri-fins, this is still a great option. Still amazing release, amazing maneuverability. That's something, a really good testament to this board as well, that it works well as a quad or a thruster equally as well. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. You guys are keeping this thing going. We just hit 500 subscribers. Thank you to all out there.